Hey guys, Tarke here, and I want to do a quick update on my path of building for my Caustic Occultist, which is the build that I'm finally playing and I'm having a lot of fun with in the league. We're doing a path of building update because I've made a lot of changes, and because I had a slow start, I won't have mapping footage for you until tomorrow. So this was the original tree, and I think I'm going to change it to this tree, which has a few kind of key differences. So the idea around my original tree was I wanted to use the new damage recoup nodes, which would give me 50% of damage I've taken recouped as life, and I thought that'd be a very interesting sustain method. Having played the league a little bit and having just kind of a bit of a better understanding of how the mechanic works, I feel like this tree will most likely be better, but I will still experiment with both. So with this new tree, the main thing which this gets over the other version, it gets stun immunity, corrupting blood immunity, 100% spell suppression, with also debilitate enemies for 1 second when you suppress their spell damage. Debilitate is an incredibly strong debuff. It makes enemies deal 10% less damage and slows them by 20%. That in conjunction with malediction and the fact that we run a blasphemy temp chains actually gives us a lot of layers of defense. The stun immunity, completely unconditional, just entirely on the tree, is exceptionally strong in the sleep mechanics, since a lot of the deaths I've been seeing have been people just getting like chain stunned because the enemies get really scary. And then just constantly being able to slow enemies through the temp chains and then slow them even further if they end up hitting us with any spell damage, I think will make for a really strong combo. This tree also goes slightly more hybrid-y. The energy shield doesn't look particularly high. That's because I'm still using entirely evasion-based gear because I didn't bother like plugging in all the gear. But I'll probably go for a bit of a mix between evasion and energy shield. And one thing which is really neat, even if you did go for a pure evasion-based setup, is without any flasks active, with just very reasonable based evasion-based gear, you'll see that I have 18,000 evasion rating, which the 3% you get from the ghost stance, basically 3% of 20,000 is like 600, and you'll see I have 656 energy shield. You can basically end up in a situation where one hit will pretty much fully restore your energy shield, which just gives you like a constant nice buffer. And with a heavy evasion based playstyle, if you went pure evasion with actual evasion rolled gear and some like 20% quality on a few slots, because these are all just like pure life, whatever, you'd probably be upwards to maybe like 20-25,000. Then if you have a Jade Flask active, you'll shoot way up. You could basically be in a situation that if you ever get hit, you'll just completely fully restore your ES pool. And I think that would just make for a really strong buffer. But anyway, I will try both this version and the life recoup version, see which one I prefer. But I think I'm leaning towards this one. The other one, which is kind of cool about this one, is through one with evil, you only need Chaos Res on one piece of gear, like just like a 16% roll or something. That with one with evil and Withering Presence, you have 76% capped Chaos Res, which just means that you don't ever really need to worry about Chaos damage. Chaos damage is very much balanced around people having like, maybe these days for like 30-40%. The difference between having capped Chaos Res and not having capped Chaos Res is massive. So it means that you don't need to worry about stuff like poison, which can actually be pretty spooky. And also has really good natural synergy with the chaos damage over time per chaos res, so that means you get a pretty nice 6.3% damage node, just for 1 point, which is pretty neat. So, and yeah, it makes everything just look a little bit neater tree wise. The other thing which is kind of cool about this from a sustain point of view is you get life gain on kill from blood drinking now, but you also get ES from kill on soul thief. So between the ghost dance and the soul thief, you'll always have full energy shield, and that just seems like a really like neat little package combo, which I'm kind of into. It would be really nice if we could run discipline in our auras. The current plan for auras is grace, malevolence, then temp chains, blasts. Depending on what sort of gearing I get, depending on if I get any like reduced mannerization gear or enchants, we could maybe fit other things in there. I've also been messing around a little bit with Temporal Rift while leveling, and I'm actually really liking Temporal Rift as a buff. So I might try and maybe fit that in. Again, if we start getting stuff like Enlightens dropping, that would make for a more interesting combo. But we just need to really wait and see. But Temporal Rift is very strong. Would definitely recommend trying out a little bit. But yeah, just a quick little update. This is kind of the direction I'm thinking of taking the build in. Very minor. You can see it's like just a few point difference here and there. I do really like the idea of this recoup stuff, but I feel like the recoup stuff might be slightly better for a like armor-based build, which went left side of tree and stacked stuff like Hearty and anything which like scales life regeneration rate. Because the more life regeneration rate you have, the more like the more you leverage this damage recoup thing. I really like the idea of doing recoup, and I definitely want to do a pure recoup build, especially if I can get my hand on the chest piece, which gives 100%. You could potentially do a really interesting build where you use the helmet, which gives you 20%, the chest piece with 100%, and then whenever you take damage, you would heal 70%. So as long as you're not getting one shot and you have some level of either avoidance or mitigation, so that you don't just like die in like 2 hits, you would just constantly be healing through all the damage, which just seems like it would be really strong. But anyway, this is the plan I'm currently going for. I think it'll be a little bit more friendly for SSF, and I think the stun avoidance will be a big play. But yeah, that's that. I'll leave the PoBs down below. Let me know how you're getting on with the league. I'm Tarke. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. See ya.